You're going to see something you never saw. I mean, never saw this because you never pay attention to this stuff. I'm going to pray at 8 o'clock.
Oh.
See, I'm like you. I set up the alarm clock to 6:15. I figured I'm praying at 8. Of course, I got up at 5:15 every day.
Yeah, by 8 o'clock's midrash.
I know. But the reason I'm doing it is because everyone here has to pray early. You have to go to work, you have to do this, but they make it before Vatican.
Better. Yeah, but.
Of course, first take the Chumash.
So the rabbi sends a
Good
happy
morning.
on Sunday.
Boker Tov.
Yeah.
Why? Oh, because you start.
Because Sunday we generally don't
Sunday,
have
you have
work.
no reason. No, but okay,
But you have classes.
no, but you see, it's the same. You get used to it. Look at something really fascinating. We're going to raise a question, then go to the Ramban, then this is really fascinating. The parasha begins that Yitro is coming to the desert. He brings Moshe's wife and the 2 children, which in a minute we might revisit. So listen carefully now. It's on page 396 by you. Larry, by you, it's Perek Yutchet. Okay. Pasuk Yudbet.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I purposely start here. Look at Yudchet Yudbet here. I'm waiting for Georgia to take. People are leaving the Sharet Zion. Everyone goes
Exodus.
to Florida because the parents,
Mass Exodus.
the children have vacations and the parents take the kids to Florida.
But we have Zoom, right?
And we have Zoom. This is it.
Are you going later on?
You know, I might go next week to Jeffrey Dayan's house.
And
Deal.
very nice.
But I will teach in the morning anyway.
Beautiful.
So you'll do Zoom from where?
Zoom, the same.
We're going to pray the Lubavitch or the Sfaradi?
I have to play this for you with 8. Again, after the
You know, this
class.
is Lubavitch from there too.
But look at the Pasuk. Pasuk Yudbet. Pay attention to the Psukim, okay? ויקח יתרו חותן משה עולה וזבחים לאלוהים ויבוא אהרון וכל זקני ישראל לאכול לחם עם חותן משה לפני האלוהים. This is an innocent pasuk, right? Nameless. Right? No, Yitro comes, he's excited, very thankful, and he's, so to say, sponsors, okay? But let's pay attention to the second pasuk, pasuk Yud Gimel. Everyone understands the psukim. Vayehi mimochorat. What is mochorat? The next morning, no?
Yes, next day.
וישב משה לשפוט את העם, ויעמוד העם על משה מן הבוקר עד הערב. Okay? Now, the obvious question is, what do I care if this was a week later, or Vayim Mochorat is obviously telling me
Something.
which means, keep in mind that Moshe Rabbeinu, before the Torah was given, cannot be sitting.
Yeah, it's too hot.
Moshe Rabbeinu, before the Torah is given, cannot be sitting to judge the people. As a matter of fact, go a little further.
Because Mocharat is from when? Yitro came or Simchat Torah?
This is Rashi is going to say Mocharat Yom Kippur. This is going to be our focus. So look a second at Pasuk Tetvav. Yitro is asking him, what are you doing? Look at Pasuk Tetvav. ויאמר משה לחותנו כי יבוא אלי העם לדרוש אלוהים. People are coming, you know, they have disagreements, questions. כי יהיה להם דבר בא אליי ושפטתי בין איש ובין רעהו והודעתי את חוקי האלוהים ואת תורותיו. The Rashi that we are about to read in a minute is telling us, obviously it's after Matan Torah.
That sounds for the question I was ask you.
Before Matan Torah, there's nothing you can teach the people.
Because the order of the para.
There's nothing you can teach the people.
The para, it didn't happen yet in the para,
Right.
but I guess it's
So
not in
we
order.
open 396.
David?
Yes. 396.
Sham.
Rashi left side. Look at the Rashi, amazing Rashi, but let's put the two psukim together. You'll have a Vayim Mochorat, Motzai Yom HaKippurim Haya. It is the day after Kippur.
So wait,
A second. Oh.
The second
Yes.
Eli says, Georgia says,
Don't close it. It's very
after Moshe comes down, we are going to see it in the Psukim a second. We're unaware the Torah is given in Sivan. Correct? Moshe Rabbeinu never comes down. Moshe Rabbeinu is supposed to come when? Down in Shiva Betamuz.
Yes.
But the problem with the Egel. Right?
Yes.
So let's read the Rashi slow now. ויהי ממחרת מוצאי יום הכיפורים היה כך שנינו בספרי. ומהו ממחרת? למחרת רידתו מן ההר. ויהי ממחרת, the day before I came down, with what? With what? With the luchot that we know, the way we know it. Remember, as kids, we have a vision. The Torah is given in Chodesh Sivan, but the Luchot they didn't receive till Yom Kippur. Why? The Luchot were broken on Shiva Betamuz. Moshe Rabbeinu goes up twice. So look at the Rashi now. ועל כורכך אי אפשר לומר אלא ממחרת יום הכיפור. It has to be the day after Kippur. Why? שהרי קודם מתן תורה אי אפשר לומר והודעתי את חוקי האלוהים ואת תורותיו. If it's before Kippur, what is Moshe telling them? I'm judging the people and I'm teaching them חוקי האלוהים. Listen good now. ומשניתנה התורה עד יום הכיפורים, לא ישב משה לשפוט את העם. There was never a day from Sivan when the Torah was given that Moshe is sitting down to judge the people. Why?
He wasn't around.
שהרי בי"ז בתמוז ירד, when he came down the first time, he came on 17 of Tammuz, ושבר את הלוחות and he broke.
They went back up.
ולמחר, which is י"ח תמוז, עלה בהשכמה, he went early up, yes, ושהה 80 יום, 80 days from י"ח. So when is he coming down? וירד ביום הכיפורים. Remember again, so Rashi, you realize there is a Sifri. The Sifri is a Midrash Halacha. So let's read now the Pesukim. It's frightening.
But if he's judging young people, when did it day after?
No,
when does he have time to teach them? In other words,
No. It means. Judging and teaching because you know, different questions that. But this is.
Well, two things. He's judging this.
Forget now the Rashi now. Any way you learn, you have to learn like that. So look at
Rabbi,
7.
why is it 80? Why is it 80 days? 40 plus 40, or is it saying he went up 80 days the second
40,
time?
40 for 40. There's no time. The other Rashi is yeah. You're right.
It's not 80.
Jack is right.
Oh, Av Elul 60. No, it is.
I can't remember.
Yes, 72. But yeah, Rabbi, it is 80.
It's 80.
Av Elul, 10 days of Tishrei, and then the 12 days of.
Of course. Now,
I
in a second,
can't learn that date.
in a second, let's wait.
Doesn't understand why was it 80? I thought he went up another 40. Did he go up a 40, come down again, then went up another 40?
No. Now, Eli, our discussion now is according to Rashi.
Okay.
According to Rashi, and Rashi adapts, it's a Sifri. Sifri is a Midrash Halacha. Now let's read the Pesukim that we read again, make a question, then go to the Ramban. The Ramban, there's another Ramban. We're reading again now, Pasuk Yud. ויקח יתרו חותן משה עולה וזבחים לאלוהים. אוקיי? ויבוא אהרון וכל זקני ישראל לאכול לחם עם חותן משה לפני האלוהים, ויהי במחרת. So when is מחרת? The day after Kippur. So when did they eat together? Well, on Yom Kippur. I'm reading the Pasuk. There is a big question. The big question is, if you're reading the Pasuk, Mochorat means the next day. And Rashi heavily says This is the day after Kippur. Moshe starts to teach. Yitro says to him, hey, impossible. How can they eat on Yom Kippur?
No, maybe it's Motzei Kippur. That's when they broke the fast.
Hold on, but you cannot bring a korban. Wait. See, this is the, we never ever think like that, but you like listen carefully.
Oh,
Before Moshe Rabbeinu, Jack, comes down from Har Sinai on Kippur, there was never Yom Kippur yet.
Right.
No one ever told them to fast on Kippur. Did they fast or not? So listen carefully. You can say, as Moshe comes down, yes? As Moshe comes down, Moshe is telling him about Yom Kippur. Did they have to continue fasting? Everyone ate breakfast. Everyone participated in the meal of, if I am, Chaz v'shalom, if I am not feeling well on Kippur, and I have to eat, am I obligated to continue fasting? Or every time I have to eat, I have to think twice?
Who said they had the rules of Yom Kippur? Moshe's coming down, they didn't have the rules of Yom
Good.
Kippur.
Eli is very good. Maybe they didn't have the rules of Kippur. Take the Ramban. Go to the Ramban and Mochorat. Take the Ramban.
Also, doesn't this get into the when it says Vayishma Yitro? When did he hear? When is he coming down?
We'll see in a minute.
Was it after Amalek? Was it after
No, but
Matan Torah?
no, but no. It's a machloket in the
Right, I
Gemara,
know.
and Rashi clearly takes one position, the Ramban takes another position.
Rashi says that it was Amalek, right?
Vayimi Mochorat. Look at the Ramban now. This is Perashat Yitro, Pasuk Yud Gimel. Bayu, you have it. Which page is it, Bayu? Yeah, Bayu, it's page Payal. If you David, please. Okay. Let's read the Ramban. Remember, Rashi clearly told us Mochorat after Yom Kippur. Look at there. Look a second. Look a second. The pasuk Yud Gimel. Vayimi Mochorat hayom. I'm reading Ramban. ממחרת היום שעשו זה שנזכר. מה זה עשו זה שנזכר? The קורבנות, the party that Yitro, yes? ישב משה לשפוט את העם. ואמרו במחילתא, remember, מחילתא is מדרש הלכה, the same as ספרי, ממחרת יום הכיפורים, which means Rashi did not invent. Good? Now, says now the Ramban is bothered with bothered us. ואין דעתם לומר שיהיה ממחרת רמז ליום הכיפורים. כי יום הכיפורים לא נזכר בכתוב שיאמר עליו בתורה. The Ramban is a master of pshat. The Ramban says if I talk about a certain day, if the day is mentioned, I can say the next day. Yes? וגם כן, listen good now, unlike Rashi that told us that it means the day after Kippur Mamash, says the Ramban, אינה הכוונה שיהיו ממוחרתו ממש the day after Kippur. Why? כי לא אכלו ביום הכיפורים. How can you see the Ramban feels it? אם היה להם יום הכיפורים בשנה הראשונה שנסתברו בו, the Rambam is a doubt. If there was a Yom Kippur, they didn't eat. If there was a Yom Kippur, they didn't eat. But you realize the Ramban himself has a doubt if they celebrated the first Yom Kippur. Why? Moshe Rabbeinu is coming. To celebrate Kippur, you have to start to fast the night before. The night before Moshe is not around, no one spoke yet about Kippur. Yes? אם היה להם, the Ramban has a ספק ועוד, listen further in Ramban, Eli. כי בו ביום הכיפורים ניתנו לוחות האחרונות. וממחרתו ירד משה וידבר עם בני ישראל, ויצווהם את כל אשר דיבר השם איתו בהר סיני. You see, Eli pointed out before, according to Rashi, it comes out funny. Yeah. It comes out on Kippur, and the next day is teaching. When are you teaching this?
Right.
Look a second on the pasuk that the Ramban is quoting. Look a second, Perek Lamed Dalet, pasuk Lamed Bet. Perek Lamed Dalet, pasuk.
Shemot.
Yeah, Perek Lamed Dalet, pasuk Lamed Bet. Perek Lamed Dalet, pasuk Lamed Bet. See, remember, we don't put page 514. No, David, give the Ramban open.
Yeah.
Go back to the Chumash, page 514. Vayisham, pasuk Chavchet.
Chavchet.
Ramban, I use it, making the same mistake. Look at the Chumash. Go to the Chumash. Vayisham im Adonai 40 יום ו40 לילה. לחם לא אכל ומים לא שתה, ויכתוב על הלוחות את דברי הברית 10 הדברים. Listen good now. ויהי ברדת משה, מהר סיני 2 לוחות העדות יד משה, this is יום כיפור. ברדתו מן ההר ומשה לא ידע כי קרן אור פניו, there was a physical change to his face. אוקיי, וירא אהרון וכל בני ישראל את משה, כי קרן אור פניו ויראו, they were fighting to approach him, they realized that something, it's not the same Moshe we knew. יקרא להם משה, משה invites them at the same time. וישובו אליו אהרון וכל הנשיאים בעדה, וידבר משה עליהם, משה speaking.
You're going to say it says what? Yeah.
ואחרי כן ניגשו כל בני ישראל, please listen carefully to the pasuk. ואחרי כן ניגשו כל בני ישראל, ויצווהם Let's read the pasuk again.
I 3:1.
Please mute, Rabbi.
Rabbi, let's get.
Yaakov, good afternoon by you, good morning by us, but please mute yourself. So Ramban quotes this psukim
Thank you.
down from Yom Kippur. He's teaching them everything, right? ויכל משה מדבר איתם, ויתן על פניו מסתור.
So he's carrying the Lufot on Yom Kippur, he's bringing them down.
So let's.
All sorts of issues on Yom Kippur.
No, but everyone agrees to that. We are arguing now. Now go back to the Ramban that we had before. David, go back to the original page. Let's go back to the Ramban. Says the Ramban, ועוד, בו ביום הכיפורים ניתנו לוחות האחרונות, וממוחרתו ירד משה, ודיבר עם בני ישראל, ויצפם את כל אשר דיבר השם איתו בהר סיני, והנה יום המשפט. Unlike Rashi, that Rashi learned the day after Kippur, he sits down to judge. Says the Ramban, but I see the end of Perashat Yitro, you made it comment before.
Yeah.
He's teaching them.
Right.
Says first Moshe is teaching, he's not going to judge right away. I told you before, the judging is the teaching. This is what you have to say in Rashi.
Also, this is the teaching of process. He used to teach it to Aaron and his sons. The sons used to teach the Zechanim. The Zechanim used to teach
Yeah,
it
good,
to
good.
the
The process that you mentioned is correct. This is when it gets other mitzvot.
Every time.
The first time Moshe comes, you're right. Normally you look further. ואיננו יום המשפט שיעמוד העם עליו מן הבוקר ועד הערב. Okay. So the Ramban, again, so the Ramban right away as a safed, was Yom Kippur celebrated the first year or not because Moshe comes down to Yom Kippur? And the Ramban says if it was celebrated, how can they? This is the Ramban. But Rashi clearly, let's go back now to Rashi, Pasuk Yud Gimel. Go back to Rashi, Pasuk Yud Gimel. ויהי ממחרת, מוצאי יום הכיפורים היה כך שנינו בספרי, and Rashi says clearly, unlike the Ramban, I go back to Rashi Pasuk Yud Gimel, Rashi says clearly, ומהו ממחרת, ומחרת רידתו מן ההר. Rashi clearly, unlike the Ramban says, Vayivi Mochorat, the day after. Even though it says after Yom Kippur, it doesn't mean the day after Yom Kippur. After they celebrated the party. After they celebrated, maybe it's a week later, maybe it's whatever. Now again, so the Ramban is very consistent. Moshe comes down on Kippur, he's teaching them everything. Yitro, I'm making it up now, a week later gives this Ola with Machim, everyone participates in the meal. By him, Mochorat, Moshe sits down to judge. I was teaching you already everything, but Rashi clearly tells us that Mochorat is Mochorat Kippur. So all the commentators all means the Taz, which is 350 years ago, the Khatam Shofar 200 years ago, wondering, how did Rashi learn the Pasuk? If it's the Kippur, how can you read it Yom Kippur? So one of the answers is, listen carefully, since this is the first Yom Kippur, and when they ate Be'eter, yes? So they are permitted to continue eating because to understand what he's saying is, open a second, Parashat Acharei Mot. Okay, leave this open, go a second to Parashat Acharei Mot, when Hashem is teaching us Halachot of Yom Kippur, Parashat Acharei Mot. Okay? Look at 644. 644, Pasuk 29. 644. והייתה לכם לחוקת עולם, החודש השביעי והעשור לחודש, תענו את נפשותיכם. Please listen carefully. Okay, so on the 10th of Tishrei, they are fast. בכל מלאכה לא תעשו, it's like Shabbat. Okay. Then it says, כי ביום הזה יכפר עליכם, שבת שבתון ילחם ועיניתם את נפשותיכם. Okay? Here, the Torah does not mention מערב עד ערב תשבתו שבתכם. Here the Torah only talks about, that's the fact. Let's go to Perashat Emor. And Emor you have all the look a second, 686.
Yeah.
Yaakov, you have to mute. You hear the background noise. וכל הנפש אשר תעשה כל מלאכה בעצם היום הזה, ועבדתי את הנפש ההיא מקרב עמה, this is a יום כיפור, כל מלאכה לא תעשו חוקת עולם לדורותיכם בכל משמעותיכם, שבת שבתון הוא לכם, ועיניתם את נפשותיכם בתשעה לחודש בערב. Anyway, you learn the pasuk. The pasuk said that Kippur begins the night before, correct?
Oh, but they were not forgiven the night. There was no.
Now, what is the next part? Me'erev ad erev tishbetu shabbatchem. What is me'erev ad erev? Is it obvious that it begins the night before and the following night? So many Acharonim are trying to learn from this. Is a serious question.
Tosefet Yom Kippurim.
Not Tosefet, you are right, but listen, Tosefet you learn from B'Tish'a L'Chodesh.
Right.
What is Me'erev ad Erev? Let me give you an example. Let's say a kid was born on Tisha B'Av noon exactly 12. 13 years later, he becomes 13 when? Yom Kippur noon time?
Yes.
Or the night before? We
Remember we
follow
had something in the backyard, a pot that I threw out. I think that's what this is from.
Hold on. Someone has just hold on. Now you muted the rabbi.
Why did you, right?
Okay. Okay. We follow the rule that Kippur begins the night before, correct? And some of the serious Rishonim, Tosafot in Rosh Hashanah, and the Shemot are saying, comes 13 Yom Kippur day. So remember, he's permitted on the day of his bar mitzvah in the morning to eat a Yom Kippur breakfast. Is he obligated 12 or 1 to stop eating or not? Some are saying that because the pasuk says me'erev ad erev, means it's a unit of erev ad erev. The minute you ate, it's not me'erev ad erev. It's a diyun in Aruch Laner, many great achronim. Halacha l'maaseh, halacha l'maaseh, we don't say so. Halacha l'maaseh, when rabbis are telling people they have to eat, you have to eat, tell them, listen. I mean,
So if there's a read, maybe you tell somebody who's suffering to eat before that hour. This way, maybe he can rely on the
Rani Tavu, you know, when he had to eat on Kippur, he came with 15 small packages of food every half an hour. Went to the kitchen and ate a small amount of salmon, whatever he had to eat. If you say it this way, let's go back to our question.
But can I ask you a little bit? If you're going to tell me, if Yom Kippur starts according to the rules the night before, they certainly, you connect Yom Kippur to being forgiven for Peta'ega. They were not forgiven until Yom Kippur Mamash.
Correct.
So therefore, they could not fulfill Yom Kippur the right way.
This is why the Ramban says if, which means the Ramban himself is not sure.
Yeah, I don't see
The
how they
Ramban
could have done
himself
Yom
is
Kippur.
not sure if they fasted the first Kippur or not. I'm telling you that the Khatam is saying, even if they fasted after Moshe went down. So if you learn like that, Eli, you see that even though you ate part of the day, you have to continue fasting when you are able to, yes? Because if you learn like Rashi, and Rashi clearly says, Vayimi Mochorat means Kippur, which means that they ate. Moshe is sitting down to judge a day after Kippur. This is days or weeks later, yes? They ate on Kippur. So what? It's difficult to digest.
Unless you fast the entire Yom Kippur, did you fulfill Yom Kippur? If somebody
No. Let's take a man who is really sick and really has taken. Does he have a kapara of Kippur? The answer is yes. Why? The kapara of Kippur has nothing to do with me eating or not. If I'm doing a real tshuva and I have to eat, I have to eat. Now, Moshe is not down yet. They are eating. This is the same as a sick man eating. Eating. It's not Kippur. Moshe comes down, hey, today's Yom Kippur. And pick it up now. Moshe comes down 9 o'clock in the morning, 6 in the morning, whatever, okay? We ate last night for sure, you know. So forget now the korbanot. Did they eat the night the chora? Yes. So even if they're celebrating the Kippur, they're celebrating not a complete Kippur. The answer is, but this is the kapara. Vayomer Hashem, salachti kidvarecha. Yom Kippur. This is one answer. Listen to this. So one answer is perhaps Kippur won't celebrate it, but they didn't fast completely. Nevertheless, why are they fasting at all? Is in every Kippur, by every chole, what you are allowed to eat, you're allowed to eat. The rest, you're fasting. But listen to this. Another interpretation is really amazing. Is when Shlomo HaMelech, let's see, which haftarah is it? Which haftarah? Probably the haftarah of Truma. Look a second in the haftarot. Look a second in the haftarot. It's in the Truma.
So according to the Rambam, they ate a week after Kippur.
Correct. According to the Ramban, they fasted a regular fast. And even though the pasuk says here, you know, Hashem says here that even though the pasuk says that they brought food, it's the haftarah of Truma, but it's saying. Okay, so let me tell you.
Well, I have a page, 1157.
Yeah, I have it too.
Malachim Aleph, Perek Hey.
Yes, but in Perek Chet it says that they celebrate. I'm looking for the celebration. Celebration. Oh, just a minute. Just a minute. Oh, yes, right here. It's 1164. Go, today. 1164. ותשלם כל המלאכה אשר עשה המלך שלמה בית השם. Shlomo brings, okay, listen carefully now. Please pay attention to the psukim, okay? Perek Chet, you see the Perek Chet there?
Yeah. Oh, perfect.
No, you're good.
Oh, yeah.
We have the last pasuk of Zion. אז יעל שלמה בקני ישראל את כל ראשי המטות, ראשי congregates, the elders, the leaders, להעלות את ארון ברית השם מעיר דוד, okay? Please pay attention to the dates now. ויקהלו אל המלך שלמה כל איש ישראל, וירח האיתנים, which is חודש תשרי, בחג, which חג? חג הסוכות. הוא החודש השביעי. Okay? ויבואו, so Shlomo is bringing the Aaron, okay? The psukim are telling us how he brings the Aaron. If you read the psukim, there was a big party going on. Here it is, the Gemara says, for 2 weeks. The Gemara says, what do you mean 2 weeks? Yom Kippur. The Gemara said that Shlomo, because of the simcha of completion of Beit HaMikdash and bringing the Aaron, they canceled Yom Kippur. So some are saying, you hear it right? That when Moshe comes down with the Luchot on Kippur, the night of giving, they didn't have to celebrate that Kippur the same as, so if you add the two together, it's much easier to digest, yes? The celebration of Moshe coming down with the Luchot. It's basically Shavuot in a second edition. This is the day of Matan Torah. And anyway, they didn't fast the night before, right? So this is why they celebrated. So this is the only, so the same way that Shlomo, okay, but Shlomo, of course, had to assemble his beginning and decide to do it. Otherwise it'll be assumed.
And temporary.
Correct. So Rashi now, so again, Rashi clearly learns that the day after they ate the korbanot, which is the day after Kippur, Moshe is judging, to which the Ramban says, what are you teaching them? Ramban learns, Mochorat Kippur. You do understand that the word Mimochorat is much better with Rashi. Mimochorat means the next day, Machar. Machar, Vayomer Yonatan, Machar Chodesh. Machar means Machar. But the Ramban, of course, is facing this. Some commentators are trying to say, why is the Ramban hesitating? Was there a Kippur or not? Exactly because of our discussion. Because the Ramban is aware that Moshe comes down on Kippur, which means the previous night, they didn't know that Kippur. So perhaps the Ramban himself wants to say, if you didn't start Kippur, halachically, because you don't know about Kippur yet, anyway, perhaps you don't have to continue. The Maaseh we are posek. We'll talk another time about it.
You know, Rabbi Prague,
Yes.
it would. So what's really motivating this discussion lechatchila anyway?
Good. What's motivates them is only the word.
Correct. So then what you have to do, you have to go back and look up all the macharats and see what's causing the confusion. So you know the biggest confusion we ever had, which caused the biggest confusion, was on Pesach, right?
Well, in Mochorat HaShabbat, what he said is, "Sfartem lachem in Mochorat HaShabbat," but the confusion over there is not the word Mimochorat, It's a Shabbat.
Okay, so my point exactly, because no,
The first day of the holiday, which means Sfirat, you look at
That's throughout the whole there?
yeah.
yeah,
Go-
but Prague, when you look at it, you go back to all the other, you have to look at all the other macharats. And the
Which other
problem is-
things you find besides this Memochorat Shabbat? But remember the confusion.
Yeah, the computer.
Yes. Because the Memochorat Shabbat, over there the confusion is a Shabbat.
correct.
Normally Shabbat.
Yeah.
But Chachamim accepted Misinai that Shabbat means Yom Tov. So this is why the Tzdukim used to derail always. They used to derail the witnesses that came to testify when they wanted always Shavuot to be on a Sunday because they wanted always to count. So this is why Rashi and the Gemara spends time to bring textual proof or other proof that I wanted to show you. Go back now to the Ramban in the beginning of the Perashat Yitro, the Ramban, to show you what is the argument when Moshe came. So, okay, look at the Ramban and Pasuk Aleph. Look at the Ramban Pasuk Aleph by you. The Ramban begins as follows. כבר נחלקו רבותינו. Who is the רבותינו? מחילתא, which is מדרש הלכה, וזבחים, the Gemara in זבחים 1:15, בפרשה הזאת, יש מהם אומרים, כי קודם מתן תורה בא יתרו. They say, to learn the text, the way, יש אומרים כי קודם מתן תורה ביתרו כסדר הפרשיות, this is the order, yes? יתרו comes and later in the parasha, the Torah is given, yes?
Is that why Rashi says?
ויש מהם שאמרו שאחר מתן תורה, וזה ודאי, if you take this opinion that it came after, יסתייע מן הכתוב, you have a proof from the pasuk, שאמר ויבוא יתרו חותן משה ובניו ואשתו, אל משה אל המדבר אשר הוא חונה שם הר האלוהים. הר האלוהים is הר סיני. What did he do? What do you mean they're coming to הר סיני? Why is Moshe בהר סיני? It's after מתן תורה. They stayed there for. הנה אמר שבא אליו בחנותו לפני הר סיני שחנו שם שנה ועוד. Another proof that he came after מתן תורה. שאמר והודעתי את חוקי האלוהים ואת תורותיו, שהם הנתונים לו בהר סיני. Okay, this is interesting proof. Look further in the Ramban. Look, skip like a line, like look to the next piece. ואם כל זה אני שואל, you see? The next piece like. See, ואם כל זה? ואם כל זה אני שואל על הדעת הזו, says the Ramban, I did bring you two proofs that it came after. But I'm asking, כשאמר הכתוב, וישמע יתרו כל אשר עשה השם למשה ולישראל, כי הוציא השם את ישראל ממצרים. According to the opinion that he came after מתן תורה, this is what you heard about מצרים, ולמה לא אמר ששמע מה שעשה למשה ולישראל במתן התורה, שהוא מהנפלאות הגדולות שנעשו להם? Why doesn't the pasuk say that Yitro heard about Yetziat Mitzrayim and he heard about Matan Torah? One of the biggest wonders. כמו שאמר, כשארנה לימים הראשונים, the Torah elaborates in Perashat Yitro about the miracles that took place during Matan Torah. Go to the next piece in Ramban, כשאמר, ויספר משה לחותנו, כל אשר עשה השם לפרעה ולמצרים. Why is Moshe telling him only the miracles of Egypt? על אודות ישראל את כל ההתלאה אשר מצאתם. ואמר יתרו, אתה ידעתי כי גדול השם. למה לא סיפר לו מעמד הר סיני? וממנו יוודע כי השם אמת ותורתו אמת ואין עוד מלבדו. כמו שאמר, אתה הורית לדעת כי השם הוא אלוקים וזאת מלבדו. You realize the Ramban has two very strong questions in this opinion. Question one, Yitro is excited to come because of Mitzrayim. Relatively speaking, the momentous event of Matan Torah was held everywhere. How come the Pasuk does mention? And forget this. When Moshe, you see, so if you learn that Yitro comes after Matan Torah, all the questions we spoke today are not questions. We assume, here it is, that Yitro is giving the korbanot, right? If
So how you
Yitro,
understood what, so I understood, if he comes
if
before
Yitro
Matan-
comes before, it's very good. Moshe comes down on Kippur, Yitro gives the
the advice.
korbanot, then vayim mochorat vayesh. If Yitro comes after, so Moshe already came, I'm making it up now, Moshe came already 2 weeks ago, a month ago, yes? And Yitro is giving whatever he's giving, right? But we have no question because they never ate on Yom Kippur. Our
Right.
question was,
Right, it's not a, you're right, it's not a problem.
only if Yitro was there before Moshe, you realize, yes?
Right.
So if the Ramban heavily relies on the opinion that Moshe comes right before, then all the questions don't stop. All the questions that we had, yes?
No, this
I'm
question.
sorry, the question starts
Start-
only.
they
So,
just start, yeah.
so, only.
But if he comes after Matan Torah, we have some difficult questions, why did he talk about it? Why are there
Correct.
things he's telling us
But the question that we had about
Are not
Kippur
questions.
are not questions at
Not
all.
questions.
This is look at the Ramban. The Ramban is so.
So we still have the question of what they did on Yom Kippur, whether he came or
Okay, it's
not.
a different discussion.
Different discussion.
The Ramban has a discussion. You guys have to go to pray and 7 minyan. So tomorrow morning we'll talk to
I'll
Eli
be on Zoom.
tomorrow.
I'll be on Zoom.
Eli will be on Zoom.
Rob, did you need anything from me, Rob, yesterday?
I told you yesterday. I wanted to know how is your brother-in-law doing.
Yes, I know better now. He came out of surgery well, and he's up this morning talking. So Baruch Hashem, so far it's a success. Thank you.
Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem.
Take care. Have a good day.
Fascinating to see the events that the one opinion they ate on Yom Kippur. You imagine? And why? According to Rashi, it's almost a must. They ate on Yom Kippur the korbanot that Yitro gave. In the first Yom Kippur remains a safek, the Ramban himself, because if Moshe comes down, they don't know about Yom Kippur yet. So we'll continue tomorrow. Bezrat Hashem. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.
Have a great day,
A
Rabbi.
little bit of question. They were given the laws of Pesach before